is officially baby-friendly. This evidence-based initiative is designed to support mother-baby bonding and optimal infant feeding practices by upholding the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. San Juan Regional Medical Center, officially baby-friendly, and serving the Four Corners since 1910. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. 11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Tuesday morning, February the 11th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Micklin, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, 103.3 FM over the air in Durango, Colorado, and our audio is going everywhere from our website at ksje.com. You can stream us wherever you might be. Special good morning also to our viewers who are joining us live and watching the live video stream of our visual radio program on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. We're glad you're with us this morning as well, everybody. Coming up, let's talk about the weather. We were expecting snow on the ground this morning, but that hasn't happened, at least not here in the Farmington area. It still looks pretty dry up to the north as well, but we do know that points to the south, like Crown Point, Cuba and DZ, have delayed their schools for a couple of hours, and so there are certainly deteriorating weather conditions surrounding the Farmington area, but nothing here. But we are expecting still snow showers in the forecast today, very scattered, I would say. The high today about 39 degrees here in Farmington, 22 degrees and maybe some snow showers overnight tonight, some chances for freezing fog after midnight. Then a partly sunny day tomorrow with a high of 44 on Wednesday, sunny and 43 on Thursday, partly sunny and 50 by Friday, before the next storm system is in the forecast for Friday night, and on into Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even Monday, a chance of rain or snow. We'll see if those storms develop more than that this one has, at least so far. Still a winter weather advisory, though, in effect for our area today until 11 p.m. tonight. So who am I talking to this morning? Well, that's going to be Jamie Church from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. She is standing by, so stay tuned for that. And then, of course, it's our Adopt a Pet Tuesday segment, and so this morning we'll be talking with Amber Francisco from the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. She'll be talking about some of the pets available for adoption this week, including the one you see on the screen right now, and that is Bubbles. And we'll learn more about Bubbles coming up this morning at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. Mick Hess will be here after the news at 9, playing some Bach cantatas for us and sharing some arts news. That's coming up on Roving with the Art, so we hope you'll join us for that. And don't forget, of course, in addition to Facebook and YouTube, you can connect with KSJE on Twitter and also follow us on Instagram as well. So let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning, the one and only Jamie Church from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning. I think
How's
I'm
that for an introduction?
Well, I think I'm the one and only.
I think you are.
There could be another one.
Well, they'd be an imposter if there was another one. So
there might be.
There's only one Jamie Church. And
well, in Farmington anyway.
Well, and we love having you here. So
thank you very much.
Welcome. It's been a busy time since we last got together.
Yes.
You've had a chamber banquet, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
On that, and to
very successful.
Yeah, to your award winners, because that is always a big deal, as you and I both know.
Yes, we both know. So definitely want to say congratulations to Basin Coordinated Healthcare and Basin Hospice. They were our Business of the Year, and that was really fun. I had to keep that secret, and I was trying to coordinate with Vince Moffat's daughter, who was going to help present it, and so there was all these secrets going on.
Because he didn't know that she was going to be even in town. No, he didn't know.
Well, the whole Basin didn't know they were Business of the Year, and so this intrigue, and so anyway, and then
many secrets at the chamber.
And then we had I guess you could say, Citizens of the Year. Right. So we had Kenny Anderson and his mother, Marilyn Anderson, and they have done quite a lot for the Farmington Boys and Girls Club, but that's just one of many things they've done. And I found out during the presentation how many things they've been involved in.
Right.
And big into philanthropy and this community.
And
so
a lot
that
of folks
was great.
may not know that they are connected to the Taco Bell restaurants
they own
in
the Taco Bells.
area. And they are chamber members, of course, and so have given back a lot to the community through the Boys and Girls Club, as you mentioned.
So that was really fun, and they didn't know either. And unfortunately, Marilyn wasn't able to be at the banquet, but Kenny was, and so we were able to do that presentation as well. And then we had a great speech or a presentation from our incoming chair of the board, Allie Davis, who did a really neat thing since we're going into 2020, or we are in 2020. We're not going into it. We're well into it. But she did a really neat thing on 20 things we have to look forward to in our community. And it was everything from the downtown project to service returning to the airport to economic development. And she just did a really neat thing on 20 things that are positive. I think we look so much sometimes at all the challenges or maybe the things that are negative. It's so nice to focus on some positive things too. So that was really neat. I thought a really great presentation.
It really was. Yeah. And again, to remind all of us that there are a lot of things happening for the better in our community.
There are.
So that's
and there are a lot of people working on a lot of different things. And I think Allie's presentation, but then also the Jolt Your Future event that the city did recently, looking at 4 economic pieces that we're working on. It's retirement and film and the broadband loop and of course, the big one, the outdoor recreation industry.
Right.
So looking at all of those as far as economic development, and I hope that people will take that information and know that there's some things going on, obviously, with the generating station and different things in that realm in the energy sector. But then there's a lot of things that people are working on for other economic pillars in the community. So a lot going on.
That's true.
So we talked about all that at the banquet, and it was great. It was roaring 20s. I don't think I've ever seen a room of such beautiful,
so much fringe, so much sparkles. Yes.
It was really fun. It was a really good night.
It was. And everyone had a good time. I
think everybody had a really good time.
Everybody had a wonderful time.
So if you missed it, don't miss it next year.
That's right.
Get your tickets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Next January.
January 2021.
Yep.
There you go. But congratulations. But there are events happening this week that we want to talk about too, including one tomorrow.
Yes.
And
yes.
it is our ever favorite Focus on Farmington coffee event.
It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite. So
you just like coffee, but if it's an event around coffee, you're there.
I usually make all my events around coffee.
Yes.
So
I like it.
The Focus on Farmington coffee tomorrow is at Cosmic Cafe, which is the coffee shop right next door to Tales of Tomorrow, which is the comic book store. And we are really excited to be doing the coffee downtown because there's a downtown project going on. Don't know if you're aware of it.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
Surprise.
Hadn't heard a thing about it, Jamie Church, for the last 3 years.
Exactly. Anyway, so we really are trying to do some things to get people downtown.
Right. But I would say this is at 220 West Main, and Main Street is open in front of the Cosmic Cafe. So there's no excuse for folks not to come down and join us tomorrow.
Well, and it's at 8 a.m. And I do think this one is going to be very well attended. So please plan on parking within any of the free parking lots that surround that street or on Main Street there or on the side streets, and coming in and having a cup of coffee. These businesses downtown do need your support. They need our support. And so that is one of the reasons I had reached out to Cosmic Cafe months ago, because these coffees do book up, and said, hey, it'd be really fun to do one there. But in addition to that, we're doing actually 2 events downtown this week. We have the Farmington Action Team meeting, which is actually today. And if you don't know what that is, it's part of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, their Jolt Your Journey campaign. And we have a really great meeting every month called the Farmington Branding Alliance, or the Action Team meetings. And anybody's invited to these. This is not just if you're part of the chamber or just if you're part of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So that meeting will be today at the chamber downtown at 11:30. And then we're encouraging people stay after the meeting and have lunch downtown.
Nice.
Whether it's at the Chili Pot or Three Rivers, or walk on down to the Thai restaurant or Mikasa, whatever whatever you like to eat.
Right.
So come to the meeting at 11:30, get a great idea of what's going on in the community, and then go to lunch. So that's happening today. And then we are having a ribbon cutting this Thursday at the Brew Distillery, which is the distillery part of Three Rivers. They are back with the chamber, which super excited to have them as a member. But we never did a ribbon cutting for the Brew Distillery, and so they've got some new things going on down there. And so we're doing a ribbon cutting, and that is Thursday at 4:30. And our red coat ambassadors will be there in their red coats with the big scissors and the red ribbon.
Right.
But anybody could come to this ribbon cutting just to celebrate. And again, bring people downtown.
There you go.
Yes.
That's true.
And so anyway,
And I think you're right. It's really important that folks continue to support these downtown businesses.
Yes.
I get very frustrated when I see people that just say, well, I'm not even going to drive downtown, and that doesn't really help.
That doesn't help
Anybody, especially when our downtown is set up so well, because you can certainly avoid Main Street. I understand that you might want to avoid Main Street because it is shut down for some blocks.
Yes.
But you can take Broadway or you can take Arrington and park almost as close to those stores as you could have on Main Street. So they're really...
I'd like to just remind people in a friendly way, if you've ever been to a large city where you have to pay for parking and you're paying sometimes up to $20 to park for the day, or we do love our Durango neighbors. However, have you ever gone to Durango where you haven't had to park way far away and walk and pay, and yet we're all about that, but we have all this free parking right here where you have to walk a block, and so business as usual is going on in downtown Farmington. I work in downtown Farmington. My husband works in downtown Farmington. So just today we're having the meeting at 11:30, and then this after work I'm going to have pizza at the pizzeria, and then we're going to a show downtown. So I mean, we're just there. Things are going downtown. I have a meeting over at Artifacts right after this show with our legislative committee. So business is happening down there. So we just want people to remember you might have to park a block, but you're still going to be able to access all the businesses. So,
right. And I would say if you go to the mall, you're probably going to walk more from your car to your store than you would even today in downtown Farmington.
That's right. And we love the east end of town, and we love the middle side of town, and we love the west end of town. In fact, our business after hours this month is the west end of town with Anytime Fitness.
Right. And that's coming up the 27th, you told me.
That's right, on Thursday the 27th. So Anytime Fitness, they'll be our host for Business After Hours.
Is it like at 3 in the morning because it's Anytime Fitness?
No, it's not at 3 in the morning. I think it's at 5. But it's in the newsletter. It's on our Facebook page. I know. I don't want to say the wrong times on things. It's hard to remember all the times.
That's true. But they're usually from 5 to 7, I think.
They usually
what
are.
I have remembered. So yes.
So we're still in the beginning of the year. We're in February.
Right.
Which brings me into my health fair. Or would you like to segue to the health fair?
Because
you're the interviewer, Scott.
Well, it doesn't matter because
we're talking.
That's okay because that's happening this week.
It is
again
Saturday,
and here we are Saturday, and it's happening right up here at San Juan College.
I'm so excited about this. I really am. I think it's a great place to have the health fair. So this is our 2020 Health and Wellness Fair. It's sponsored by the Chamber and our Health and Wellness Committee, and so we've got about 50 vendors.
Wow.
So information, health screenings, little takeaways from every table, door prizes, and it's free to the public. So you don't have to pay anything to get in. It's from 10 to 2, and it is at the gym in the Health and Performance Center. Health and Human Performance Center. What is it? Health and Human Because that's wrong on our flyer.
You just left out human, but that's okay.
I know. Health and Performance Center. I just noticed that. It's been out for 6 weeks, and I never noticed that the word human wasn't on there.
HHPC.
HHPC.
That's it.
Anyway, so.
It's there.
But the point is that it's in the gym, and I'm really hoping that some of the people that come to the health fair take a moment to look at everything, the rock climbing wall, the indoor walking track, the beautiful facility, and maybe look at it's a new year and maybe they're trying to make some new starts. And so this is a great opportunity.
Well, and fans of the Chamber who are watching and listening to us this morning, we just did a program last Friday with guests from the HHPC talking about like the rental center for equipment rentals to get outdoors and their climbing wall and some of the other things that you just mentioned. So you can look for that in the archives, everybody, and check it out.
That's right. So we're really excited. I think it's a perfect place to have a health and wellness fair, and so I know that their staff over there have been really very tolerant of me because every day I'm like, oh, now we have more vendors. But we have officially cut off the vendor applications, and we're right about 50.
So you're sold out.
Sold out. We just, So anyway, that'll be this Saturday, and please stop in. And like I said, just walk around and get some of this information. I know that one of the vendors will be doing blood pressure screenings. Lots of good information for you to take, not just for yourself, but maybe family members. The Hummingbird Cafe will be there. I
just talked to them yesterday.
Yes, so they're going to have a booth there. I'm really curious for my own reasons for getting over to visit with them. And I know
this is the new thing in Farmington once a month. They'll be open at the Bonnie Dallas Senior Center for folks who didn't watch the show yesterday, but you can still watch it again on Facebook and YouTube or podcast. And it's for memory and dementia patients to come one afternoon a month, and their grand opening is, in fact, today, this afternoon.
Is it?
Yes, from 2 to 4.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
There you go. But it's an exciting concept about being able to take, if you're a caregiver for someone suffering from memory or Alzheimer's issues, taking them there and having just no pressure, no planned agendas necessarily, but maybe some activities that they can do, and you can do it together, and it's a great concept. And so it was great to do the show yesterday.
Well, I think it is great. And
so they're going to be there.
So they are going to have
at
a
the
booth
health
there.
fair.
And thank you for letting me know about that.
You're welcome. You bet.
So, and maybe I'll go over there and visit with them.
On good authority, there's going to be plenty of coffee at the health fair this
Saturday.
Yes,
you do.
I do.
Because you just heard me ordering it.
I did.
And they asked me if 4 gallons was enough. And I said, no, we need 5.
Keep it coming. Let it ride. That's right.
So anyway, a lot going on. And I guess that's sort of the funny. I mean, I know I'm sort of saying like, the times, I want to make sure I get the times right or the dates right. But there are so many events. There's so many things happening with the Chamber from the banquet through this month and then next month. And that's what we are excited about with the Chamber is how many things we have going on for our community, whether it's health and wellness or whether it's a business after hours, or we just went to Santa Fe to do some things with the Redcoats. Yeah. So
that's wonderful.
A lot happening.
But the health fair is this Saturday, everyone, 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
And it's free. And you have all these booths that are health related.
Yes.
And so that's an opportunity to get some of these screenings or information or what have you. If you're really serious about maybe New Year's resolutions or maybe you've fallen off the wagon, maybe this is a chance to get back on the wagon. And
this is a great family event. Bring, your children in. It's great, I think, when we bring our children to things like this and that they can see that health and wellness is something important to us and that this is something we care about. And so, and there's, information for them too. So please attend.
There you go.
Great.
This Saturday.
Yep.
There you are. Very good.
At the Health and Human
Performance Center.
HHPC.
San Juan College.
HHPC.
San Juan College. There'll be signs. There'll be signs.
Well, they have at least 2. I have at least 2 signs. So
can't miss it.
Maybe I can get a Jolt Your Journey event sign. I will try.
There you go. Okay. Santa Fe. I want to ask you a little bit about your trips to Santa Fe. And so
that's right.
The state legislative session is almost wrapping up. I think the 30-day session. And so you and the Chamber Legislative Committee were probably watching some pieces of legislation that you think would be helpful to this area.
We were.
So what can you report back?
Well, I can report back that our trip to Santa Fe was very successful. So we went February 2nd and 3rd, and we took a contingent of 19 people from Farmington, so Redcoats.
Right.
And we attended a tour of the Roundhouse and then also the legislative reception on the Monday evening. And we got great feedback from the other vendors there. Some of them were other chambers. There were small business associations. Got great feedback from all of our Redcoats being there in their Redcoats. And what the purpose of that is not just to find out what's going on in the session, but also to show that Farmington, we care what's going on in Santa Fe, and we care so much that we're bringing this group of people, and we're all there to represent Farmington and to represent the Chamber and small business and all of our businesses and members. And even if you're not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, we are there representing Farmington. And so we just want people to know we're in business. We've got a lot going on in Farmington. So I made a point of walking around to every booth, and there were a bunch of them, and giving out my business card and visitor guide, and we had fun little giveaways that we had, and just reminding them of, hey, we've got a lot going on in Farmington. So next time you're in Farmington, stop by, visit me at the Chamber. We can talk about what we have going on up here in our northwest corner of the state.
Right.
One of the pieces of legislation we were really watching, and I haven't heard how this officially came out, but New Mexico is one of 13 states that does tax Social Security and pensions. And we have a committee, Retire Northwest New Mexico, that's really working to promote this area as a place for retirees, active, outdoor loving, seniors who are interested in an active lifestyle. We're looking at recruiting them for our area.
Sure.
Recruit might be a strong word, but promoting our area for them to look at retiring.
Right.
But we also want to, any obstacles to that or barriers, we certainly want to look at. And taxing, if your Social Security or your pension would be taxed here, that could be a reason why somebody might decide not to retire here.
Well, the idea being, if I'm an active retiree and I have a pension coming in or retirement monies that I can spend, I don't need to work anymore and I can just live off of my investments and things like that, I can maybe choose where I go to retire. And so if there's a state that doesn't tax my benefits as opposed to a state that does, that may change the decision-making process.
If all 50 states did this, it wouldn't matter.
That's right.
But to counter that, and I do want to say, we have very, very low property taxes. So some of these other states that might not tax Social Security and pension most likely, if when you look, probably have higher property taxes than we do here. So it does really balance out, but people don't always look at all the different pieces.
Sure.
So we just wanted to see
Right.
where that legislation might go. And again, I don't have where the final went on it. I think something passed that might be an exemption or something, but
Right.
I'm not going to say anything till
I know there was some concerns about the loss of revenue.
Yes, and that is true.
And
So
I think the lawmakers were saying we want to figure out maybe how to replace that
Yes.
somewhere else if we
Right.
were to go forward with this full legislation. And I think that's where things stand. At least
Right.
the last article that I read is what it said. But I
Right,
think
exactly.
it certainly sparked a conversation.
It did.
And a needed conversation at the Roundhouse about, how we can be more attractive to maybe this group of people, these
Right.
retirees.
And these other 13 states or other 12 states, they're trying to get this off of their books too, because they're in the same thing, they're in the same place we are. They're
Right.
trying to attract retirees to their area. And so again, it's just the conversation has started, kind of throwing it out there, seeing what's the reaction. And you're right, there is a lot of revenue generated from that. And then again, you look at our lower property taxes and things like that. So it's not that this must be done or retirees aren't going to look at our area. They are looking at our area. We get a lot of phone calls because of the weather,
Sure.
The wonderful outdoor amenities that we have, and that's just going to continue to increase with ORI and the efforts there.
Outdoor recreation. That's right.
Yes, ORI.
That's right.
Outdoor Recreation Industry Initiative.
Right.
By the way, they're having a boot camp coming up in early
Oh,
March.
okay.
So you want to find out about that. But we have the golf, and we have the fly fishing, and we have wonderful hiking trails, and we have the biking, and we have great weather, and we have a low cost of living and low property taxes. And then we have so many wonderful things that surround the area too. There's cultural things. We have an absolute gem right here at San Juan College. Many retirees are looking to continue their education. They want to volunteer, and they want to get into continued learning programs. And we have all of that right here at San Juan College.
Right.
So
This is what that committee that you have
Yes.
is really teaching all of us
Exactly.
about these people and what they
Right.
look for when they consider
That's
a place
right.
to go and retire.
That's
so
right.
it's been interesting for me to learn that.
Well, and we, in fact, the chamber, another coffee. That's like 3 this week. We're having a coffee on the 13th, Thursday morning at 8 a.m. at the chamber. And we are going to be sharing some of the information about what this committee is doing. So we're going to be doing a series of these. And so for this, the first one, we invited realtors and lenders because we know they're probably, if you're looking to move someplace, that's the first contact you're going to make. You're going
Sure,
to contact
right.
a realtor. So we wanted them to know. We wanted that group to know what we're doing. This next coffee, which is this Thursday, is some of our community leaders, the mayors of the different surrounding areas, Aztec, Bloomfield, because we're all doing this collaboratively. This just isn't a Farmington effort. City council members, community leaders, you're invited, Scott, if you
Okay.
would like to.
Well, thank you.
But anybody else out there who's listening who would like to know more about what we're doing, you are welcome to come to that coffee. It's 8 a.m. upstairs at the chamber, which is located at 100 West Broadway. And Nancy Shepard, who chairs that committee, will be doing a brief presentation so that you know what our efforts are. And it's more than just saying, hey, everybody should retire here. We really are working on this, and we have a plan and a marketing plan. So if you're interested.
I think it's important. And I think it's important for folks to realize how collaborative this effort is.
Yes, it is.
In addition to a lot of the other efforts, too, to diversify the economy and really talk about this outdoor recreation
Right.
stuff that we hear about.
Right.
But again, we all are hopeful that the plan for the San Juan Generating Station
Yes.
moves forward and protects all these jobs. But I think it's really important that a
Right.
lot of folks are talking about some of these other things that we can do in addition to,
Right.
to then not be so reliant on some of those extractive industries that
Right.
go up and down. And if we have these other things that are stronger, we may not suffer as much during the downtimes as we have seen
Exactly.
in the recent past. And
Exactly. So I think like that with the challenges, as we say, those bring opportunities, and I think these are the opportunities: the outdoor, the film, the retire, New Mexico, the other things that now we're looking at and we're building up, and we're saying we have a wonderful area, and we're just needing to share that we have a wonderful area and a wonderful community.
Right.
But so the retirement's part of it.
True. And the other big announcement that happened just a week or so ago was the state's Outdoor Recreation Conference. Is coming to Farmington this year in October, which
That's
I imagine
right.
the chamber will be a big part of
We will in the day of the chili cook-off, because the conference happens to wrap up the day before the chili in October.
Well, there you go.
So we are going to be
stay over one more night.
Exactly. So we're going to be doing something fun with the chili in October that encourages everybody to stay one more night and do some of the outdoor things they just learned about, but then also attend what I'm going to say is the biggest chili cook-off in the Four Corners. I think I'm pretty safe in saying that.
I think you're right about that.
But I'm going to say it anyway.
Right.
So,
because you go around picking fights with other states, but I think, it still holds up.
Yep, and so I will be continuing that with Colorado. And also, maybe I'll just include Utah and
think you might
Arizona.
as well call them all out.
I said Four Corners. Call them
Looking
all
at
out.
you, Texas.
I know. Well, and we've got a lot of time, and so it's the first Saturday in October, and it was a perfect tie-in with the outdoor conference. Right. And so we'll be doing something fun, something special to get them to stay one more night, and then come in and have the best chili, red, green, pozole in the Four Corners. So it's a perfect tie-in, and I was very excited to hear about that. So again, it's just one more piece in the puzzle. And I think when we go after things like this outdoor conference and the Ori boot camp and all the things, I think it's actually a base camp. But anyway, all those things, it shows we're serious about this. We are really working to do these things in our community and look at this economic diversification, and we welcome people's feedback and support on that too.
Sure. Well, and again, really trying to change the attitude and the idea of Farmington as this destination community, whether you're coming here to shop, you're coming here for school, you're coming here to maybe start a business, you're coming here to retire, all those different ways of looking at our community. And sometimes when you live there, it's kind of hard to see that.
I think that's
from
true.
an outside perspective. And here we are, again, marketing us to other people and other groups
and the downtown project is a big piece of that as well. True. So while right now it can be a little tricky, but the downtown project is part of that. That's part of building up the downtown and doing some things downtown that needed to be done, but also that the city was getting some feedback on people that maybe came to visit or potential business down there. So when those improvements are done, I think it's really going to be another piece of it where we bring people in as a destination, and we have this beautiful new downtown for them to visit.
Right. And you talk about going downtown for a meeting and then having lunch.
Right.
But what about having lunch, maybe not this time of year, but in the spring, summer, and fall, outdoor at a cafe, and you don't have cars screaming by.
Right, exactly.
You don't have 4 lanes of traffic screaming by.
Right.
That's all part of this as well.
It is.
And of course, a lot of folks forget that a big part of this project too is underground, replacing some of the water and sewer and other infrastructure that you just have to do by digging up the street. And there's no other time to do it. Necessarily than during a big project like
it's kind of like when you do a big house remodel and you spend, especially if it's an older house, a historic home, which you would know, and you end up doing so much of it is below ground or in the walls, like redoing the wiring or replacing the old plumbing or putting in the new insulation. That all gets covered up then by the floors and the drywall, but so much of what you're doing is just in the inside so that you can continue to have a house that functions.
Well, that's true.
When you turn on the lights, you want the light switch. You want the lights to come on, and you want the plumbing to work.
And like downtown too, adding value to that construction or from that construction project. I think that's what folks are hopeful, and I think it will add value to a lot of those stores and buildings and businesses downtown when they see kind of that there's more room out in front, the sidewalks are wider, there's more room for outdoor dining, there's more people walking and people strolling as well as driving through downtown. It's that complete streets idea.
Exactly. And it was kind of a little bit of a chicken and an egg. That's kind of where we are with retirement. What do we do? Build it first and then they come, or do they come and then we build it? But that's always what you have to figure out. And so not saying it's not challenging right now. We know, because I don't want to minimize. No. I know what some of the businesses are going through right now, or some of our chamber members in particular. But that's why we're trying to do the events like the Focus on Farmington Coffee tomorrow. That's why we're doing the ribbon cutting with the Brew Distillery, and the meeting we're having downtown. I volunteered to host the meeting for the Farmington Branding Alliance specifically to get people downtown, and then say stay over for lunch or pick up something to go and take it back.
There you go. We just have a couple of minutes remaining, Jamie Church. So tomorrow, let's remind people about the Focus on Farmington Coffee.
Cosmic Cafe.
Cosmic Cafe from pretty much 8 to 9.
8 to 9.
Right there on Main Street, and you can park on Main
Yes,
Street
you
in
can.
front of the Cosmic Cafe. Main
That's
Street
right.
is open, or you can park right behind
Yes.
off of Arrington. And
There's going to be
get
plenty
there.
of parking at that time of morning, so you should have absolutely no trouble. And then the Health and Wellness
Health Fair.
Fair.
That's right,
This
on Saturday
from 10 to 2.
at the Health and Human Performance Center here at San Juan College.
That's
so
right.
There you
and
are.
parking, there is a lot of parking there in the main lot, but also there's a dirt lot just off to the side. And it is a Saturday, so I'm guessing too in the other lot across the street, since there won't be too many classes going on. So
No.
there should be plenty of parking as well.
That's true.
For that event too.
Very true. Well, very good.
Great.
Jamie, always
Thank
pleasure
you.
to
Yeah,
have you here.
thank
The
you very
one and
much.
only Jamie Church. There
The
she
one and
is,
only.
Everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jamie Church, my guest here on KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. Our Adopt a Pet Tuesday segment is coming up next.
YouTube and Instagram.